It's a nine-chord banger. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Ayy, yeah, purpose and practice. Keep your mental sharp, learn all the tactics. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Ayy, yeah, purpose and practice. Podcast game, ayy, he got it mastered. Sign call.
Yo, peace, family, peace, everybody out there in the purpose and practice community. Dr. Rawls, your host, coming live and direct. We got another week, and you know what I say, another week is another episode. I'm like crazy amped for this week. As usual, I just want to make sure everybody is in a good mental state, emotional state, physical state. Those things is important now more than ever. So shout out to everybody out there doing a thing, holding it down, however you holding it down, and making things happen for yourself, for your peoples. I'm going to jump right into it. Like last week, I kind of, we came off the Jay Corley episode. I kind of hinted like we coming with another heavy hitter from Long Branch. Stand up Long Branch. Like, I don't even, it's not even like, it's like the people coming up out of there. And I'm talking, we say now who got it from the mud, like the people who got it from the mud, real talk. I'm trying to bring live on this show. And this week we got another brother who I was just hollering at him, off the air. And I was like, yo, bro, I'm not even using the word proud of folks no more. I'm using straight inspired. This is a brother that I taught, who I saw my first year I had him. My first year teaching, I was probably 23. He was 18. We was like in the same, class. I'm teaching seniors, shout out to that class, man. I remember Mona was in there. I remember Burke was in there. I remember Amy was in there. It was like some heads in there that was just like, it was a crazy experience. But this brother, I also had the opportunity to coach him. Lachey too. I can't forget Lachey. I had the opportunity to coach this brother, and we had some of the deepest conversations on the football field. And I was able to immediately identify, I'm talking about like a practice, to immediately identify what kind of thinker he was from what we did in class, but then even the kind of conversations that we were having, I was like, this brother is a thinker, and he was so aware of all of the surroundings, and I'm not surprised, because coming from where we come from, there's like there's a need to be aware. There's a need to be conscious. There's a need to be critical and to critique our situations. And he had all of that, and I always appreciated that in this brother. So we're talking to an author today. We're talking to an entrepreneur. We're talking to a breeder, which I'm starting to research now, learning more about that whole science. But then a family man, like I'm blown away. But a brother from around the way, MBA, Mike. I'm a stop because the whole show's about you. But how you feeling, fam?
First and foremost, man, gotta pay my respects, man. Man upstairs, all things possible because of him. And salute to you, man, for the platform, that you provide, and for, people that are inspiring other people. So, big ups to you for that, putting others first, and being a servant leader. That's something that's huge to me.
Word.
And how I'm feeling, I'm feeling amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying that because I'm on a podcast. If I wasn't feeling amazing today, I'd tell you, like, you know what? Today wasn't that day for me, but I'm fresh out of a meeting, pitching a crazy idea where I'm focusing on changing culture and making culture tangible. You know what I'm saying? Playbook associated to it, in a corporate setting. So I'm feeling great. I'm coming out of a corporate meeting with senior leaders where I'm pitching to them that, don't chase numbers, chase culture. Because if you culture, your numbers will follow. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop
Yo,
going out here and chasing these numbers and trying to get our numbers to a certain point. We need to go and chase this culture and stop making decisions around one thing, but let's make a decision around humanity. Because when we value humanity, the numbers are changed, and the type of care delivery that we give will change. So I'm feeling great. You can see I'm in my bag.
yo, you
I feel great. You put me at a great moment. I feel great. You know what I'm saying?
yo,
I feel
and
great.
yo, and it's crazy that you just said that because we were going back and forth. Like, all right, are we gonna have to hold off, or are we gonna be able to come with them like live tonight? And you just came with some fire, and I'm like, yo, I'm glad we didn't, hold this off for another night, because that what you just laid down, yo. You start talking about culture, yo, that's so critical, man, because we're in a time where as you know, folks are chasing whether it's likes on a page, whether it's subscribers, whether it's like, yo, I'm feeling you, but they're forgetting about that core cultural piece, yo. I love that. Don't chase numbers, chase culture, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, how you defining culture, yo?
Hey, yo, the way I define culture is humanity. Anything and everything associated with humanity. I don't define culture with the color. I don't define culture with a certain accent or what continent you're from. I define culture with humanity, because when you take the focus and put it around humanity, that's the same playing field for everybody. You know what I mean? Your decision making, your quality, and everything around that.
True.
Will remain true to what it is.
True.
So when I say focus on culture, I'm really saying let's focus on humanity. Let's make decisions around humanity, not necessarily around implicit biases and the things that come into decision making along the way. So that's how I define culture. I got that question asked when I was in the Uber in San Francisco. Shout out to my daughter, just got accepted to San Francisco State University.
Oh, word!
Big ups to her.
What up?
Big ups.
Word. That's what's up.
We visited school and I said, I'm looking for a school with more cultural diversity.
Yes.
And immediately he paused. He was a wise man. He said, define culture and in the context of what you're asking about. I said, man, that's a great question. I said, we went to one school, and I love that there's a lot of brown people like myself there.
True.
Because some people may say culture is what you are, and you're looking for you.
Yes.
For her, I'm looking for the diversity so that she can be able to communicate across platforms. I explained to him that this school that we had just came from, I loved it because they had a lot of international students. And the diversity wasn't just about the color; it was about the world. They had world diversity there. Yes. And I said, you know what? I wanted to see where she was going to go, because the other school, they had a blacks only graduation. I mean, it was black.
Yeah. It was
black. So I'm like, what's she gonna do? But I found out, she picked. She was like, I love the diversity here, because they focused on that thing. Like I said, culture. They was focusing on humanity. That school didn't just have a sign that said, "This life matter." I didn't even know how many lives matter until I went to that school, and they had so many different signs because they wanted to make sure that inclusion was important.
Yes, it was pronounced, and it's crazy because a lot of times we talk about culture, right? But very seldom do we really think about, okay, what does that entail? Like, what does it mean? And that's why I was like, let me just ask the brother, because I don't like to just assume that I know what someone means when they say culture. And the way that you just broke that down, real talk, was serious, man. And we appreciate you for that. We just can't make assumptions that we automatically know, what folks mean when they say culture. And shout out to your daughter, man. Like, she a junior or senior now?
She start college in August. She out of here. Yeah.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah. San Francisco State University is, she's going for and big ups to her. She's going to do pre-med there. She go be a doctor. She wants to be a surgeon. So, that's kind of her path she wants to take. So, I'm here for it. I'm here for her.
Man. That's shout out to you, to Natalie, because that, that's a whole family piece, and I just think about knowing y'all when y'all was like in high school, doing y'all thing, and now y'all got a senior about to go off to college.
Yeah, and big ups to my wife, man, because she stuck it out. You know what I'm saying? She ain't have to marry me, man. She could have, you know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't have to stick with me. I'm a great guy, but in all humility, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? She ain't have to stick with the kid from Long Branch.
Yeah.
She a beautiful woman. She could have did whatever she wanted, But so big up to her, man.
Word up.
And you'll be proud of her too, man. She just started
Word
back
up.
to school about 6 months ago. So she's doing her associates in business and bachelor's in healthcare administration. So I want to give a shout out to her for setting the tone for our daughters. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to her for setting
I already know, Mike. I already know. Like, word up. Like, for y'all to be in the circle together, I already know what Natalie must be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know. And I read the book too. So I know from the book too that, like, I know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I said shout out to Natalie. You know what I'm saying? Because, real talk though, when I was coming up in the high school, and this is before you and Natalie got in there, I was a student there, and Miss Moray was someone who, looked us out. She was someone who we always were able to identify, always able to relate to, like, always held us down. So when I met not only Natalie but Amanda, you know what I'm saying? Like, I taught Amanda, I had Amanda in class. I already knew what time it was, and I already knew what role I had to fulfill in being their teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, so salute. Salute, fam. Salute. I'm glad that we got a chance to celebrate that on this show. Word is bond. So, man, I'm like another brother, a younger brother, from around the way that I get to bring onto the show and open up some stories and narratives for folks, younger heads who are listening to the show, who watch the show, students who I use the show with. One of the things, Mike, that we love to do is get background stories. And I already talked to you and I was like, we may need 2 episodes. So we're going to be ready for that. If we got to do 2 episodes, we're going to come back with another episode. But I want to go back, Mike, and if you could start introducing us to your story growing up, where you grew up, what growing up was like, and sharing some of those experiences with the community.
I appreciate it. And I'll start off with this, definitely a Long Branch guy. You know what I mean? Definitely a Long Branch guy. Grew up in Long Branch. I think I grew up during the coolest time to grow up, in regards to what was going on in the world, and what we had to overcome. And what I mean by that is, a lot of y'all know my parents. Some people do, some people don't. But the way that I grew up was like this, and I'm gonna be real and raw because, if this is something that can help some people, I want them to know that, what, when you look at me, you might be looking in the mirror, and if I could do it, you can do it. So I'm gonna just be raw. My grandmother raised me, so we'll go back to the age of 2, being 2 years old. My older brother's 5 years old, and then the one right up behind me was just born. And my pops, you know what I'm saying? Salute to him. He was, we grew up through the crack pandemic, you know what I'm saying? The crack epidemic that was out there, you know what I'm saying? So we grew up during that time, and, crack got a lot of our parents, you know what I'm saying? It stole a lot of households, during that time. And, my pops, was stuck on the crack cocaine, and different things like that. And big ups to him for being clean for like 27.
Yo, salute.
You know what I'm saying?
Salute.
Number like that, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to him for changing the, you know what I'm saying, the narrative on that. And then a lot of people don't know, same thing. My mom, you know what I'm saying? Crack got caught up on that, heroin, you know what I'm saying? Different things like that. You know what I'm saying? And big ups to her for turning her life around as well. You know what I'm saying? All things is possible. But with that being said, their situation didn't allow for them to take care of the kids the way they needed to. So, basically, you got them dropping us off at my dad's mother's house, my grandmother. And I got to give a shout out to her because not only did she take care of us, she, you know, when she got us, she stopped everything she was doing. You know, she was in beautician school. She was going to be a hairdresser. You know, her life was done. You know, her kids was raised, and she stopped everything to take care of us. You know what I'm saying? And so she grabbed me, Joe, my other brother. Big ups to Joe.
Yo.
Then also,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? James was right under me. And the beautiful thing about James was that wasn't even her grandkid, but she wanted to make sure the brothers stuck together. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So she took us all in, adopted him, you know what I'm saying, treated him like he was, you know, family, you know what I'm saying? And then she took 2 more, Harold and Adira. She took 5 of us, you know what I'm saying, to make sure we was good. So big up to her for what she did. And, you know, just growing up during that time, man, you know how it is. It's like this. Being from Long Branch, you know, I just seen Rob Green make a comment. I'm gonna explain being from Long Branch. Being from Long Branch, you got to have so much confidence in your ability and what you bring to the table and what you do, or you get eaten alive. You know what I'm saying? and I don't care who you are, or what you got going on. If you don't stand up for yourself, you know, you're gonna get tore up. So, you know, growing up in Long Branch, my grandmother raised me heavy in the church. She was, you know, if you ask her, she married to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? She wake up with the Lord, go to sleep with the Lord, go shopping with the Lord. Like that was her playbook, you know? So, for me, it was like, man, that's a lot. It's heavy. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
We used to get outside, hang out. Everything wasn't the way she wanted it. So we always was in trouble, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Always in trouble. And then it was like, you know, growing up, like you had to prove yourself. You know, you had to prove yourself with your peers that you're not no punk. You know, you had to prove yourself with the people. Like you're not out here just letting people walk over you. You know, like I see Rob Green in the comments, man. It's like, I remember that was like one of my third fights in Long Branch was with Rob Green, where, you know what I'm saying, we was out on the playground in Garfield Court where they had the courts with no courts. But
yeah, in the middle.
Crack files, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we was out there just hanging out, you know what I'm saying? And Rob said something crazy to me, you know what I mean? And he was that guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, Rob was the guy.
Yeah.
Thing was the guy. So he said something to me. I said, man, I can't go out like this.
You can't, you can't like, like,
yo, I can't do it like this today. You know, so he said something to me and he got in my face, man. I said, man, guess what? I punched him. I punched him in his face. Boom! He looked at me, hit me back. Boom! Man, let me tell you, I was like Usain Bolt. Boy, I ran so fast. I said, God damn, this boy is hard. I said, I gotta get him out of here. I said, I don't know if I'm about this life. You know, that's a story. And he was
that's
like,
crazy.
Then after he was like, yo, because nobody would even swing back. You know
yeah.
Like, man, I respect you, bro. Like, yo,
that's on the strength.
Like, you really fought back. I'm like, yeah. Then he respected my juke skills because he couldn't catch me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just growing up, we got a lot of stories like that with, you know, people that, you know what I'm saying, we grew up with, we had the camaraderie with, you know what I'm saying? We grew up, you know, like I said, crack cocaine time, man, it was different. You know, you grew up seeing people get shot on the corner. You know, I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like my brother reminded me about 2 months ago, he said, yo, a lot of people don't realize you're different, bro. And I said, what you mean? He said, man, like you fearless. I was like, yeah. He said, but I seen you. He said, I seen the chink in your armor one time. And I was like, yeah, when was that? He was like, yo, you remember when somebody stole your bike? And I said, yeah, I remember that. He was like, and you went out looking for him. You looking everywhere. Yo, I'm gonna get my bike. He said, then you found the dude. He was me and you and the dude. And you rolled up on like, yo, give me my bike back. He said, this one I saw you crack. He said, my man pulled out that 4.5.
It was like,
and you was like,
you got that.
You got it. He was like, yo. in all my life, that's the first time I seen you back down from anything.
Yo, but that's what, Mike, real talk, Mike.
Yeah.
You talked about coming up, right, in the era that we came up in, and you were only a few years behind me. So I felt it, you felt it.
Yeah.
There was also an element of live the fight the next day. Like, you couldn't be, like, we understood. That's why I said critical thinking. Like, all right, dude, I ain't going out like this over, this, you know what I'm saying? But then it's also that other element. It's like a fine line between I also can't get punked out here. Like it's complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah, but that was a principle, because at the end of the day, you go home, you gotta explain this story. Yes. So we had our parents is like this. You mean to tell me you got beat up and you ain't fight back? Mm-hmm. Hey yo. Yeah. You go back outside.
Don't come back until
go back outside. Yeah. Like you you're gonna do it now or you're not, or you're gonna do it later. Yeah. So you might as well
get it done.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to cross the street when I see nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't doing that.
Because once you do that, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. So that's kind of just like early childhood, growing up, the culture that we was in, and then for me, it come a point in time in your life where you like, you know what, am I really about this life or am I really about that life? You know what I'm saying? Like, what life am I really about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember the first time walking to school and a crackhead walk up to me and it's like, yo,
yep,
what you got? And I'm like, I could sell crack right now. I can make money right now. And it was that turning point where I was like, you know what? I can't do this.
Word.
And then I realized, what's your name came to my house? Bucky.
Wow.
Salute to Bucky.
Wow.
Because he came in. Yeah, he came in.
Definitely shout out to Bucky.
Shout out to Bucky. He came to my house, told my grandmother, hey, yo, I want him to come play basketball. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, that was like the first time like a grown man like came and advocated for me.
Like some interest in yes.
Even though that's not even my sport, he was just interested in me coming out and participating. So big ups to Bucky. My grandmother was like, you know what I'm saying? All right, but he got to be in the house by this time and he can't go this far, But whatever, we figured it out, got on the basketball team, and that's where sports was introduced to me. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Bucky for formally introducing me to sports and creating that mindset of competition.
Those youth sports coaches, and those names came up. Even you mentioned Rob Green. When Rob was on the show, he was talking a lot about Howie, brothers to Bucky, a brother to Bucky. And it's like those heroes don't get the credit. You talk about getting flowers, bro. They saw some diamonds in the rough, and like they were seeing things in us that none of us were able to see in ourselves at that time.
That's a fact. So Bucky pulled up. That's got him involved with the sports and things like that. And then from there, it was like, all right, basketball wasn't. I mean, it was a way to get out the house. It was a way to get camaraderie and do all those different things. And then I realized, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I gotta get in this football thing. I gotta see what that football thing like. You know what I'm saying? You signed up for that. I think my first year was like, everybody was a running back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
with that glory.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So it was like I wasn't the running back. So it was like, I think this is what really made me learn to be comfortable with who I was. Like at this moment, like I'm not the quarterback, I'm not the star. But I could be something and be great in whatever it is that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So boom, that's where I said, you know what? Big ups to big cousin Mike Dennis. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, word. Yes. Salute to Mike. Yes.
Salute to Mike. You know what I'm saying? Number 36. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? Number 36, the bus. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I said, a lot of people don't realize you watching him. And he's cool to play certain positions, you know what I'm saying, with his size, mobility. And I said, I'm gonna be a fullback. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a fullback. I might not get the ball as much. I might not get the credit as much, but I'm gonna do the dirty work. And that kind of just introduced me to a whole nother world of like pride and purpose. You know what I'm saying? Something have a purpose. And without me being there doing this, guess what? We wouldn't have that 1,000-yard rusher. We wouldn't have those different things. And I was cool. I was cool with that because my resume looked different. I didn't have 30 touchdowns, but I had 30 touchdowns. See what I'm saying? So that was a big thing for me. So just kind of coming up through the years from early childhood and getting into more of the teen years and playing football, and that was where the change really happened. You know what I'm saying? And sitting in the classroom, we was talking about this, and I gotta say this: sit in the classroom, and you walk in to be the teacher, and I'm like, yo. He lived next door to us in the hood. You feel me? Like, he lived next door to us in the hood. And I'm like, yo, how they let him in? Like, yo, he like, I'm like, yo, you went to Jersey City University, Jersey City. I'm like, yo, went to college in Jersey City? We didn't left like the block. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, you went to Jersey. That's something to me. I'm thinking, you went to like California, Texas. Like, dang, and you got free. But it was so dope because all my teachers that I love, you know, high school, Miss Vogel, Miss Callerin, all of them, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it was interesting. Your delivery. This was mind changing for me. This was when I realized I met somebody that was different. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, he looked like me, he act like me, or I act like him, and he comfortable in his skin. Like you gotta understand coming into school, being a teacher, and I really understand it now. Like I didn't get it then, but now
you could really appreciate it.
Yo, you walking in with a FUBU sweater on. You feel me? You feel me? You had the baggy FUBU throwing on with the vest, the baggy FUBU vest on. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cool then, but then when I look back and I'm like, hey, yo, I wonder if there was whispers. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if there was whispers of, oh, why would he wear
What is
that? Oh, he got wallabies on? Oh, you know what I'm saying? You coming in totally different. And that to me, it was I learned that moment, that moment, that's like senior, that's when I really grasped the concept. Yo, be comfortable in who you are and what you bring to the table. And then once I got past the attire and I started really listening, I'm like, oh, he is different. He's challenging you to think outside of your normal map. Your normal map will say this, but the only reason you agree with this is because someone told you that. But did you go research?
That programming,
Did you go do this? Did you go do that? And then one day you was saying, we was in class, and I don't even know if you remember this. You probably going to crack up. You was like, be careful. You was talking about program. Be careful of what people do when we was talking about marketing. It's like, look at a watch.
Yeah, damn, bro.
Yo, I remember.
Yo.
Things.
Wow.
Look at a watch. Look at a watch.
Wow.
And I'm like, what is he talking about? It's like, look. Look at the watch.
Man.
Watch. Look at what time it says.
Yeah, all the time. Yes.
Understand they're appealing to your psyche. They're appealing to you by the
the whole sexuality piece. Sexuality.
Understand. Yo, you teaching us this in high school. Like, do you understand? Like, this is life lessons in high school that you getting that. Yo, I'm supposed to get that when I'm 30, but you fast forward basically making sure we're gonna be great. Like, you like, look, I got a small window. Window. So I gotta make sure I give them everything that I know. And you told that story, And here I am, damn near 20 years later, like,
yo,
still,
it's making sense. Like, yo,
don't accept everything that you see.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
And just being a business person, I learned how to leverage it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, now I know what to put in front of people based on their psyche and what they think.
See?
So, you know what I'm saying? So it went both ways.
Yo.
First, I looked at it as a warning, and then I looked at it as how do I implement it in a positive way.
And Mike, that's why I wanted to teach, because I felt like there was a message that I had to deliver. And I was it's funny that you say that, because I was very conscious of like, yo, I want to be myself. And if I'm not welcomed here as myself, then I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to deliver. I always said I want to be the teacher that I wanted in high school. Yeah. That I never had. Like, that's what I wanted to be. So that's, and then it went into coaching. I was like, I want to be the coach that, and I can't say that with coaching, because I had coaches who were that. Real talk, I had coaches who were that. So I can't say it with coaches, but because you mentioned like Bucky James, you know, like I had coaches, you know, I had Proctor, I had Caldwell, I had Colvin, I had Bellina, like I had them, I had Mooney, you know, but in a classroom as a teacher, not a substitute, and no shade to substitutes. But I was like, yo, I want to bring something different, yo. And I'm just, yo, the fact that y'all listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all
all ears.
Y'all listen,
like we knew you, but you was a unicorn in the environment. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like it really was a unicorn. When we saw you, it was like, you talk about hope, you talk about it's possible, you can do it. You know, we don't know if we smart enough. We got our own internal struggles. Like, are we intelligent? You know, because of where we come from. Go home every night to roaches and mice running around the house. Like, are you telling me like I don't have to live this life? Are you telling me I don't have to take cabs everywhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you telling me I could really step up my game and be the change? You know what I'm saying? Like it was hope seeing you.
And that, you know, it's funny because I see a lot, and I've always seen a lot of you and me and you, because even when you just shared that story with being a fullback, and it's funny because you open your book that way, like, you know, being a fullback, yo, and I'm thinking back to like, all right, you know, because, you know, those is, you know, stories we've shared of like, yo, first play, we running ice. Yo, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like those, yo, like what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you shared that story and the pride that you took in blocking for the running back who can then score the touchdown, that was so evident in everything that you did. And I thought back to me, because I'm like, yo, I came up, listen, I had Corley was in the backfield, King was in the backfield. I was a wing back. I was there to block. Yeah. You know, like I was a blocker, you know, so, but I took pride in that. So the same way that you took pride in that, I took pride in that. And I was like, yo, nobody going to do that better than me. Like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We running ice, and I'm going straight to the middle linebacker, and I'm putting them down. Because I'm going to tell you, Raul going to get this touchdown on me.
Yes.
Raul going to get this touchdown on me.
Yes.
Raheem gonna get this touchdown on me.
I don't
care whoever in the backfield. The last thing they're gonna say is, "I didn't do my job."
Yo, Mike. Yep.
You feel me?
Like
on me.
Yes. And that, you know, it's something to be said for that, man. And salute to Raheem. Salute, you know, to Raul. Yo, that team. Because I was so close to y'all in age, Mike. But like you said, growing up how we grew up, there was always a sense of confidence that we had to have no matter where we were. And you were beyond your years in many ways. Like, so even being in those spaces, I was like, yo, this is a great opportunity for me to teach these young heads, you know, in the level of love and respect that I have for y'all and vice versa. Yo, it just made it a special, crazy special situation, fam. Crazy special, yo, that I'll always remember. So, yo, we come up through high school. I had you. I wish I would have had you earlier than senior year, you know. you finish school and you're, phenomenal athlete, but like I always say, a better thinker. You were just you were a thinker. Where did that come from, man? Like, I hate to ask a question like that, but when did you realize that you thought differently?
I guess for me, I realized I thought differently when my older brother didn't follow the advice he gave me.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So when my older brother started telling me,
wow,
play sports so you could be, healthy and it keeps you out of trouble. But then I didn't see him play sports.
Yeah.
And then when he would tell me, good grades, but I didn't see him get the good grades.
Yeah.
He would tell me to do these things, go in the house, don't shoot dice, but then I see him outside shooting dice.
Wow.
And I realized,
wow,
I think I'm thinking differently out here.
wow.
Like my thought process is different. That's when I really grasped hold of the concept of I think different, I am different, and that's okay. That struggle with. I didn't want to be the weirdo. You feel me?
Word.
You don't want to be the weird kid that people don't want to hang around or don't comprehend or understand. So for me, when I realized that, I turned different into being cool.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I'm gonna come to school and I'm gonna rock corduroys. You know what I'm saying? Like rock the corduroys. Cool, because I'm different. You feel me? So that for me, when I started seeing my older brothers, and big ups to my big bro, Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Joe. Yes.
He always told me the right thing to do, even though he would do otherwise. And big ups to him for being home 4 years. You know what I'm saying? No problems, no issues.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's house, up. And help put 2-3 other families in houses. You know what I'm saying? Rewriting the narrative and on everything like that. So
that's what's up.
That's when I realized it. When I seen Big Bro kept making these decisions, I said, yo, I have similar qualities, but I'm different. So what he does in his realm, I could do in my realm, be just as effective as he is, but lower risk associated.
Yes.
And then when I realized, and let's be honest, I had to realize, live to see another day. And accept I'm really not about this life.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me now. I say this with all confidence now. You feel me? Like I say this with all confidence. I probably wouldn't be able to say this because I would have probably felt like, oh, I'm being a punk, scared or whatever. Like I'm really not about this life. Like I'm not about to shoot them up, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? Coke, gang. That's not for me. It's not. Can I do it? Absolutely. If I need to, I can figure it out. Like I'm a thinker. I would probably be the best at doing that if I was. But I'm really not with all the smoke. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm really with all the smoke. If I could use this, right? And I ain't gotta use this. Why would I not? I don't have to labor in the sun and do this and risk my life when I could use this. Live free and make 20 times the amount of money that I would make.
And it's funny, Mike, because you in your book, you talk about risk management. And it's crazy because what you're explaining right now, definitely pick up the book. Yo, I'm proud of this book. You know why I'm real super proud? Because I'm gonna call it something, and this is no shade toward it, but it's a workbook. And what I mean, real talk, this is like a workbook, bro. Like, because now you get books, it's no spaces for you to write anything in it, to jot. I was looking through, you got like spaces like, put your plan here. And I didn't even get to the brain dump. Mike, you kill like
accountability. Accountability. One thing I learned, a lot of people don't like accountability and they make excuses. But I learned something. This is my third. I wrote 3 books in a magazine. You see what I'm saying? That's my last book that I wrote. When I wrote this book, my first book, I realized great book, but you don't leave no room for accountability. And I said, you know what? For our people, from a marketing standpoint, somebody was like, yo, write the book,
Yo.
then sell the workbook. And I was
Yo.
like, damn, that's brilliant. But
Yo.
but more importantly, I said, no. I want my people to have everything. I'm eliminating excuses. I want them to be successful. And somebody else said, know your worth. That book is worth 25, 35, whatever. I said, nah, not this book. I said, this book, the worth is for my people to be able to get it, eliminate excuses. They said, how much you gonna sell it for? I said, $9.99. They said, damn, that's it? I said, absolutely, $9.99. You know what I'm saying? I turn around and make, you know what I'm saying, a couple dollars off the book. But it wasn't about about that. It was about the principle that, guess what? You got something, you're gonna learn how to communicate better. There's self-accountability in there. You don't need to go and buy another workbook to match this book. No. It's
all in Mike, you know, I was just having this conversations. I was on a call with superintendents of schools, right? I was doing a little professional development for them. And I was like, yo, the way where I came up, when we got a degree, that didn't mean that was my degree. That was a community degree. So there was a piece of me that had to give back, just like you said, like, here you come walking in the classroom. Like, I made it a point. I was like, yo, I'm going back to Long Branch. I mean, I'm not in Long Branch anymore, but I was like, I'm going to be there for enough time to have some type of impact on the community that served me. So when you break it out like that, like, it's not about the dollars and sign. You started that way. You know, you said start chasing culture. Don't chase numbers, chase culture. So I'm like, yo, when we from our hood, when we get something, it's not just ours. It's a community. It's the communities.
That's a fact. But you see that community achievement is what I would call it. When I see, you know, and I did a wave maker. You see me on Wave Maker. I did a video and it's called "I Am Not Your Competition." And the video really focuses on my brother, my sister. When you win, I win.
Yes.
When you graduated from college, I graduated from college. When you got your credit score right, I got my credit score right. My brother, I'm not your competition.
Yes.
I'm here to celebrate you. And if we start celebrating each other more, then we'll have more positive outcomes in the communities and within ourselves. And the most important is with our children. Right? My child should be 20 times better than me. My daughter, if it took for me to get my 30s to write my first book, well, guess what? Right now, my daughter, she's
working on a book.
She's 12. She dropping her first book in 3 months. She about to be published. You know what I'm saying? My oldest daughter, she going into college. She dropping her book next month. You know what I'm saying? And my youngest daughter book, it's a book about culture as it pertains to two daughters, two sisters. They get dogs and they allow social media to tell them which dog is better based on the color. Wow. So your dog's better because it's brown, your dog's not better because it's black, so on and so forth. And what we do is we teach them in this book, because Nat and I, she Puerto Rican, I'm black. We use ourselves as an interracial couple to say, it's not about the color of the dog, it's about the love the dog gives. And guess what? Y'all wouldn't be here if we not focused on color. So let's focus on love. Let's focus on humanity. So that's her book. And then my oldest daughter book is called Girl Dad. It's about a girl and her dad that shows their dogs, and they go through ups and downs, and they just, you know, dad coach her up until she becomes a champion. So,
damn, man.
You know, these are the things that I'm talking about, where it's like, you said, when you win, I should be paying that forward.
True.
12, a published author at 12.
True. Like, but I think it's a lot of conditioning that goes into us, fam, where, and I always talk to people about this. It's like, some of us, we get education, we get degrees, we want to advance, and it's like to escape from something. And then there's others who are like, yeah, I want a better life, no doubt. I want to, I want a less traumatizing life than I had. But it was still love in the hood, right? Because I
Yeah,
even want to get back to that cracked piece. I want to get back to that in a minute. But
yeah,
it was still love in the hood. But I
yeah,
do want more. And my parents, my peoples would want me to want more. But at the same time, it's not a means to escape people. It's not a means to turn my back and to feel as if I'm something different than these folks. So it's like when you can nurture that piece, man, when you can do what you got to do to, and I hate to use the word success, but to advance and progress. But then you also know how to reach back. And that's the whole reason I got the saying "Code for Bird" up there is reaching back and bringing forward. When you also know how to do that, yo, you killing it. Like, and that's where we need to be, as a people. I want to touch, bro, because I want to go back to this crack piece.
yeah.
I don't know if you watched, and some of the community may have watched the show Snowfall.
That's my joint, Franklin.
Yo, Franklin is
Yeah,
yo Franklin. He don't win. Marlo was my man for like forever. If you watch Wire,
yeah,
but Franklin is on a whole other level. And don't talk to me about Ghost. Like
yeah,
Franklin is on a whole different level. So yo, don't
yeah,
at me. Don't
yeah.
at me about power. Don't at me. But Franklin is on a whole different level. But I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, and I was like, yo, that show is triggering.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what do you mean? They were like, because somebody else said something similar. I said, because listen, man, when you grew up in that, they got that crack era right. Like the way they broke that down, fam,
Yep.
I felt like I was reliving my youth.
Yeah, yeah,
And it brought back some dark, it kind of some dark
yeah,
spaces in my brain started
yeah.
to reopen up, fam.
You didn't realize that you even still had up there, right? Like you
Yes.
you thought you graduated from, moved on, it wasn't
Yes.
there, and now you
Yes.
reliving, walking in the room with the needle hanging
Yes.
on somebody's arm. You reliving that
Yes.
moment where you see family members that just cooked you dinner now passed out with
Yo.
the crack pipe,
Word.
and you
Word.
trying to compute.
Word.
It brought to me, you know what I'm saying, just hanging out in Garfield Court,
Mm.
one of my little cousins just playing around, picked up the little crack vial
Mm-hmm.
and was like, "Oh, I'm a crackhead," and sniffed it, and the vial went up his nose, and
Yeah,
he had
it's
to go
just
to the
yo,
hospital.
it's
Like, like
that's yo.
like the,
It
the
was
wildest memories that it's like,
yes,
yo,
yes, yes, and I was like, and I was saying like, yo, also when I'm a little older than you, when we were coming up, it was attacking people who had no idea that it would be a term crackheads 5 or 10 years later. So it was recreational. It was recreational for a minute. It was like somebody smoking weed,
yep,
and we saw young people being strung out on it, young heads.
yep,
And then we also saw young people obviously starting to understand the enterprise, the financial enterprise that was behind it, and being handed out packages, and I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this is to me one of the first shows that really nailed that whole era. But at the same time, like you said, and that's why I wanted to go back to it, because you said, but yo, this was, people who was just cooking me dinner is now, dozing off, laid out, and can't do nothing. And that's the craziness of coming up in situations like that. And that's why it's love, but then there's this pain, of watching this. So and if you never lived through something like that, you have no idea mentally, you know what I mean? Like what that does to us.
let me tell you this, man, and I know we coming up on our moment of time, but one of the most profound stories, that was shared with me, when it comes to this, the crack, the time during crack was, you know, when my mother realized, okay, I gotta, I can't do this, and I got a lot of respect for her. She
Mhm.
shares this story all the time. She said she got a call because the apartment was on fire. I think we might have been living next door to you around this time.
Mm, mm.
The apartment was smoking. They get in the
And
apartment and they open the oven, and it's a plastic piece of chicken in the oven. They look at my bro Joe and go, "What are you doing?"
Yo.
He said, "My brother was crying. He was hungry.
Damn.
He wouldn't stop crying.
Wow.
So I tried to make him some chicken.
Wow.
I just wanted to make him some food."
Wow.
He 5.
Wow.
He 5.
Wow.
He 5 trying to, you know what I mean? I appreciate him, but I knuckle up with him. My mom was like, "Hey, you trying to feed me the rubber ducky?" You know what I mean? Like I feel him like, "Yo, you had me, but bro, you about to
he was taking you out, yo."
Yeah, like, yo, you gonna eat that too? Like, was I crying that bad? You know what I'm saying? But that just showed you the time that we was in, where a 5-year-old could be home long enough to want to take care of his sibling. That's why I got so much respect for my big bro. And we only 3 years apart, but he actually was the father figure in my life. And only 3 years apart.
He was,
and I mean, and we can get deep into the damaging mentality of you only 3 years apart, got to be a father figure and grow up in this era super fast, extra tough. You know what I'm saying? Because someone is looking up to you to not only help you understand life, but if that person is hungry at 5 years old, he already understood, I need to make this.
I got to make it happen. I got to make something happen. So how does that, and then that evolves into other ways of making something happen.
Yep.
So that's why, like, you know, when you hear Free and he's like, "Yo, did he start working? Did my he start work?" Like, it's like, that's
me a person. Yeah,
that's the energy. And it's like, in everybody, not everybody, but a lot of folks from outside of this situation like to look at it like, "Yo, you can just try harder, or you could just do." But it's like, yo, the options that I have right here and right now. And I always have debates with folks on this, because some people be like, "Nah, you could just make it. You could just make it." And I'm like, all right, yeah, you could just make it, but it's a thin line. And any of us who came through these pathways, we can go back to several stories of being on either side of a wall. Like, that's how thin the line is.
Yeah. And
that's how thin the line is.
And that's what I'm saying, where I had to make that decision of, am I really with the shits, or do I really need to get my life together? You know what I'm saying? Like this, and this was my thing. People go, "Oh, man, you seem so far above your time," and this and that. I'm like, I just was aware of my surroundings. I saw that didn't work out. True. Like, I'll be like, "Yo, he got shot."
Yeah.
Like y'all saw what I saw. Like, yo, he got shot.
Yo, like,
he went outside. Like, he walked down Central Ave. What time was it? 2 a.m. He got jumped.
I remember that. Yeah.
I mean? Like, I just pay attention, and that, and you're one of my favorite rappers. He says this is a Christian rapper. His name the Truth. He said they say experience is the best teacher, and he said, I say experience is the teacher of fools. He said, because a wise man to learn from another man's errors and determine what he should do. Now, I'm not taking away from the value of experience. I'm not. I ain't going to downplay it.
Yes.
But God damn it, if somebody tell you the stove is hot,
believe it.
Don't touch it. Especially if somebody just touched it and you saw him get burnt. Like,
true.
If somebody just told you, "Yo, I just was messing with this girl, she burnt me." Yo,
I'm good.
I'm great. I'm great.
In those messages, and that's why I talked about the love, Mike, because that's a part that's often missing from a lot of stories, you know, in spaces that we grow up in, is that there were older heads who were like, "Yo, this ain't for you. No. Like, there was folks, when we was like, when I was coming up, it was people that, don't let me catch you out here.
Don't let me,
and they was out there, but it was like, don't let me catch you. Yes.
You out here shooting dice. You out here getting money. You out here smoking. Like, I can't be out here, but you out here. They're like, nah. Yeah. So it was this protective state that they understood. They saw value in people, and they were like, look, not for you. Yes. I know I'm not doing what I'm telling you to do, but if you then you're going to be successful.
True. True. And that is where it's like, that's the magic of growing up in spaces like where we grew up. But it's often the story that is not told, or the story that is left untold, is that there are folks out there. That's why whenever I talk about growing up, and I could talk about the traumas, but I also talk about the love, because there was love there. And I never want anybody to misconstrue that and think that, this was this place of evilness and hate, because it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Let me put a spin. I'm gonna really put a spin on the love. When we talk about somebody going to your house, knocking on the door, so your kid could come outside and play basketball, so that they can experience something, so that they can travel to another town in another city. You know what I'm saying? No matter what their situation was, where a lot of us, and I do this to this day, I pack backpacks full of school supplies and give them out, my own pocket, my own money. Why? Because I know what it felt like to walk to school with safety pins in your backpack, and the backpack fall and your books fall out, and it's raining and snowing outside, and everybody looking at you like, damn, you can't get a backpack.
You can't. So then you eventually say, F these books, and then it's like,
you don't bring a book to school.
You stop books. Yes.
You hide them in the bush. You hide them in the bush so you don't have to carry them as long. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You hide them in the classroom under something, hoping the janitor don't see it, so that you could come in and just slide it from under the thing in the back. Like, it's so many love stories where we come from that we don't highlight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I take the time and be like, look, let me give Bucky his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Let me give, like when I was on the podcast with Jay Cooley, let me give Coach Ross, let me give him his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was to a point where, I wasn't going to do school. I mean, I'm sitting here with a master's degree and all this now, but I'm a nurse by trade. All this, and in part two, I guess we'll pick up from, you know what I'm saying. All right, now I'm out of high school.
That's what we're going to do. That's what we.
That's real.
Is Mike? That's why I was like, yo, I'm glad that we started this though, because I definitely want to hear, and I hate cutting stories short. I definitely, the community needs to hear the second part. I need to hear it, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing you now, but we ain't had conversation like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've shared stuff on social media, but when you left high school, like, yo, and I'm glad I had those months with you on that football field, and people underestimate that, how much time that is on practice fields and just talking, yo. And I remember, like, I was just like, yo, who is this dude? Like, you had like an adult mind, like you was like talking about, you were able to tell us, oh, I know why this is happening. This is me and you were taught, I know this is happening because of this and that's like, it was like, yo, he hip to all, like, you was just hip to everything, and you were still committed to, like, yo, I'm just playing my role. I'm playing my role, and I understand what my role is.
Yeah, because my time, I always believed in this. My time is going to come. My opportunity is going to come. Play your role. Be what you are supposed to be.
True.
And be great at it. As long as you do that, your opportunity is going to come. When they say your gift will make room for itself, I truly believe that. Your gift will make room for itself. And sometimes we got to realize the room that is making, it might not be where you are. Yeah. It might be somewhere else, and be okay with that. Because I said to myself, as we sitting on those bills, and I remember one time you came to me with some real, like, I think I felt disrespected, but like, you came to me and you said, yo, Aaron, you was like, hey, yo, because you be in the film room with the coaches.
Yeah.
You came back and kept it real. You like, look, Aaron on your ass. He about to take your position.
Yeah.
You like, yo, he on you. I'm like, what? You like, I'm just letting you know, so you got the information you need to do.
Do what you got to do.
Yo, called the sub in the game one time, called me out, and he ran in there.
I remember, Mike.
I said, they took me out and put Ad in. I said, oh, man,
Yep.
I hit that beach, start running that beach.
Yeah.
I start getting in that weight room. I said, man, Ad, that's my guy, but I'll be
It
damned.
ain't, yeah. It ain't going down like that.
It ain't going down like that. Ad not coming to take my position.
It ain't.
Nah.
And that's why in coaching y'all, it was like wolves, man. Y'all were wolves. Just think of the name. Think of the names you don't been saying. Like the people, that I'm coaching, like my position coaches. And then you play linebacker. So I had to coach you there too. So, and it was, and I had I just believed in, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it a buck. And everybody got the same playing field. This is what it is, because those are things as a player I would appreciate because it told you what you needed to do.
But you know what? Growing up, and we talk about that love, this love that we don't talk about. That's that tough love that, you know what I'm saying, we do get. You know what I'm saying? Now in society today, we missing a lot of that tough love because we cared about what someone may feel and emotions. But that was a time where you could just walk up to somebody, keep it real, be honest. And you know what? Now you have to make a decision. Because as a coach, I know I'm giving you everything that you need to be great.
Yes.
But you're going to lose it because now you're a little too cocky.
Yes.
When you wanted the position, you ran
it was
a little bit faster.
It was hard. It was hard. Cool. Yeah.
You was in the weight room a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Now you're leaving early. Now you don't want to run as fast. And guess what? That taught me in life, man, it's always somebody coming.
Somebody somebody coming. So
I don't care what you're doing. And that's the whole, and we'll get to the wave maker mentality. That's the whole.
Yeah, because I definitely want to get into that, Mike.
That wave maker mentality it's a series. If people got to understand the wave, the components of the wave. And I always say this, the wave ain't shit without no wind behind it. You could talk about the waves you making, but if you ain't got no wind, you ain't got no wave. You know what I'm saying? And a wave always starts somewhere, ends somewhere, starts again. So I don't care. You never will ride a wave forever. You got to be prepared for that wave to stop,
to crash, and then you're gonna bring it. Wow.
Bring it back. But that's
you said, man, Mike, you setting us up nice, man. This is why I said before we hopped on, I said, it's 2 episodes, bro. So real talk, man. What we're gonna do is we're gonna reconnect. We're gonna bring episode 2, and we're gonna bring it in the near future. Even if we got to do another day of the week, I'm going off grid. We're gonna do another day of the week because I feel like we need to keep this momentum. You talk about waves. We need to keep this momentum going. I feel so good, man. Seeing you doing your thing, making, as you say in your book, shit happen. Like, I'm crazy inspired. I want to get into the love language. I want to, that was deep, bro. Like, you got me like, I'm reading your book, man. And I'm that brain dump. We got to get into the book, bro. And it's funny, Mike, and this is real talk. I use brain dump even before I read your book, because it's cognitive science, it's brain science behind that. And I'm reading it and I'm like, this brother got a brain dump in here. And I'm like, as teachers, that's something that we use to retrieve knowledge, to retrieve things that sometimes we don't even really know that we have in our minds. It's subconscious. And I'm reading this and I'm like, this brother is really, really teaching. And I saw the brother, shout out to Mr. Encore. He had posted the book on Instagram or whatever. And I was like, man, I'm still waiting for mine, but we're gonna really, really, really get into that book. So community, please, I'm definitely gonna flash it up there when we're gonna have this next episode for this part 2 to continue this conversation with my brother Michael Huff, who is just doing amazing things. And we just scratched the surface in an hour. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come, we just scratching the surface. We gonna come back with another episode. Mike, I appreciate you, fam.
Big ups to you, your platform. I'm humbled. If anything, you know what I'm saying? Everything that the time you took with me, whether it was in the classroom, whether it was on the field, whether it was off the field, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hope you can see what you put out there, that
yo,
it actually your work was not in vain. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel it.
if I could go back in time and talk about a watch, I hope you realize I was paying attention to what you wore in the classroom, to
Everything.
what you
Yes, yo.
I swore on everything. I hope I do you proud, or I hope I continue to inspire you.
That's what I like. Yes.
Because your work was not in vain, and I wouldn't have went to college unless I probably would have known it was possible. I wouldn't have got multiple degrees, and I probably wouldn't have wrote a book if I didn't think it was possible. But you basically showed us at a young age you could do whatever you want. Why can't I sit here? You know, I tell people all the time, why can't I sit here and write multiple? Look, I'm talking.
Yo,
you know
that
artist talking shit. That's wave maker book. Wait till I talk about the magazine and how that came out. A dog breeder's book. I mean, this
that's
all
the
because
inspiration, Mike.
Of someone like yourself that took time. Yo, you didn't have to coach us. You could have went home.
Bro.
You could have went home. You could have been chilling. You could have been doing other things. It was cold. You know what I'm saying? Raining. Got geese shit all over the field. You know what I'm saying? You out there really running with us, knocking us down.
Man. It was it was because it was y'all and me, man, and it was me and y'all. And that's where, when you talked about your brother Joe, and shout out to Joe, man. It was like when you said that he was able to see past you and be like, yo, you're different. That's what I brought on. So it was just you talk about a wave. That was it. That's the science of it. It was just continuing, fam. Like that's what it was doing. I was doing my part. And now for me to be able to sit here, and shout out to you, Sharifa, another person I had an opportunity to coach. When I had that opportunity, I was like, yo, I gotta make this. Not only do I need to make this happen, but it needs to be real. And I remember, like, it was like our huddles for our position was like real talk. Yo. Like we was on. It was like real. It was real talk, bro. It was like it was different. It was a different kind of. It was different food that we was eating in our little circle. You know, it was different. And that was for a reason, because I knew, you know, you understand this science. I knew how y'all needed to be bred, and I knew what y'all needed to do what y'all needed to do in this world.
Yo, but that was a major key, because in life, there's not a lot of people that know what you need and know how to deliver that message to you to get you to move in a direction.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you.
The
next book that I'm currently writing is called Mentor Shift. Not Mentorship. Mentor Shift. We need to have a shift in the way that we mentor people for a better tomorrow. And what you did, you were unorthodox in your way, but achieved far better results than anybody else, right? Because you were you were for the people. And I respect that. I respect that.
I love that, Mike. I love that mentorship. I can't wait for that one. I can't wait for the next episode. Shout out my brother, you know, Mr. Gilbert, who's up in the chat. You know, salute to you. My sister Monet, Larry Hopton, Natalie Hopton. You know, saying she got a shout out earlier. Yo, Sharad, all of y'all, man. I saw the white up in here. Like, yo, salute to y'all, to the community. This felt good tonight, man. Jermaine was up in here a little earlier. This really, really, really felt good, Mike. And I can't wait until we reconnect. I'm gonna be reaching out, and we're gonna definitely do episode number 2, man. We're gonna definitely do it. We're gonna definitely do it. So to the community, peace out, man. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. I'm gonna hit y'all up for next week's episode. We're gonna have 2 episodes next week. And then I'm gonna work on this next episode with Mike. So we're gonna be coming to y'all within the next week and a half, 2 weeks at the latest. So peace out, man. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
It's an encore banger. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Yeah, purpose and practice. Keep your mental sharp, learn all the tactics. Dr. Ross dropping knowledge to the masses. Man, you now tuned in to purpose and practice. Yeah, purpose and practice. Podcast game. He